In today's head-to-head showdown, we're testing 5 cordless, wet-dry, medium-sized vacuums. We'll put them through the ringer with real-world testing, comparing suction, battery life, ergonomics, and more. Stick around to see which model comes out on top.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Tool Lab. This is part 2 of 3 in our best cordless wet-dry vacuum head-to-head. In part 1, we previously tested large capacity vacuums in the 6-gallon capacity category. In part 3, we're going to be testing the smallest hand-carried vacuums, and there are a lot of them.
There are a lot. And so for this head-to-head, we are testing 5 wet-dry, medium-sized vacuums on wheels from 5 different manufacturers. I'll talk a little bit about the models we evaluated. So we looked at the Festool CTC MIDI I guess.
Yeah, MIDI I.
The Hilti VC 4LX 22T15, Makita's GCV 03, and then we looked at Stihl's SEA 60 and SEA 100.
Yeah, and if you'd like to go into see the more specs on each one of these individual vacuums, please go to the Concord Carpenter webpage and read the full article. There's a lot more stuff there.
Yep.
So for the cordless wet-dry vacuum head-to-head, we evaluated the tools in the following categories. We have air volume, or CFM, cubic feet per minute, suction, which is a water column test, debris pickup performance, filter performance, battery performance, noise, price, weight with batteries, and then a comprehensive ergonomics and features evaluation.
My favorite was the water column test, the suction test. All of the testing was carried out by our Tool Lab team, a group of seasoned professionals who rely on these tools every day. Their job site experience, we feel, ensures kind of a thoughtful, accurate, repeatable, hands-on testing approach. We talked about this in the last testing, bags versus no bags. So in an earlier, several years ago, we tested vacuums without filter bags. This time...
We did with bags.
No, we did it with bags,
yeah,
sorry.
With
so this time we did it without bags. And we just wanted to measure true filter performance, not have the bags be the pre-filter. And, you know, we feel strongly that it's just best case. Pre-filter bags are the right way to go. Cleanup is cleaner, it reduces wear and tear on the vacuums and all that stuff. So best practice is a filter bag, but we wanted to show you the true performance of the vacuum based on their filters.
Yeah, this allowed us to sort of evaluate the filter and filter
Yeah.
cleaning stuff. So the first up was CFM testing. It's a critical real-world performance for OSHA silicon compliance. To measure the airflow, we used a commercial-grade pitot tube anemometer mounted to a custom jig built from 2-inch PVC to position the probe right in the center for the airflow path. Each vacuum ran until battery depletion, logging at 1 hertz throughout the time. We got noise measurements while we were doing that
At the same
as well.
time, yeah. All the units tested were on maximum power with the auto clean disabled. And you might find that our CFM results will be lower than other manufacturers. That's because they measure at the bare outlet and we measure at the end of the vacuum hose with the filters installed.
So the results, the Stihl SEA 100 vacuum came in first with an average CFM of 89.18. Its cousin there, it's the Stihl SEA 60 vacuum, came in second with 83.83 CFM, and Makita came in third with 83.52. In this chart that you see there, there's also some runtime data as well as battery watt hours. So you can take a look at that. We evaluated the runtime performance, but do not include it into our final scoring rankings.
Yeah, instead we focus on performance consistency, right? So we compare the CFM for the first 25% of the battery drain and then the last 25%. We calculate that percentage drop. This better reflects real-world cleaning performance as that battery depletes. So for example, the Stihl 60 took first place with near zero performance drop, measuring 0.01%.
Yeah, that's zero.
The Stihl 100, second place with a 1.5% performance drop. And then the Festool and Makita showed decent consistency, but a noticeable drop of 9.36 and 9.73 respectively. Hilti was a drop of 11.73.
Yeah, and up next we had our water column jig, which was going to be our static suction measurement. This was measured using the custom water column jig, transparent PVC tube filled with, we use red colored water. The setup gave us a nice clear visual comparison and us actually solid data points on each vacuum suction performance. All vacuums were tested with their supplied hoses at full power with the auto clean functions disabled when possible. And this test highlights raw suction strength, but it's only one component of overall vacuum performance.
Yeah, Makita was impressive, 95 inches.
A lot for the medium.
The Stihl 100 was 86.5. The Hilti was 82 inches, and Festool and Stihl 60 tied at 81.
And up next we have the AirWatt calculation. AirWatt combines the suction, the water column, and airflow, CFM, to provide a single performance metric that reflects true debris moving capability. So to calculate, it's actually cubic feet per minute times inches of water divided by 8.5. Because this is essentially a double dipping in the performance categories we just talked about, we're providing the data so that you can see, but we're not going to add that into the final score.
I'm really glad you explained that. You should have made that. We moved on to, we've called the sandbox, the dust box, basically dirty filter testing. Simulating real-world debris pickup, we constructed a saw box with 2 gallons of fine sawdust with added job site material, debris material. For example, 6 drywall screws, 6 wire nuts, Romex pieces, and some thin wire. Operators then would use kind of a serpentine cleaning pattern going back to collect any debris that was left behind that didn't get picked up right away. The results of that were Hilti completed the test in 54 seconds. The Steel 100 was 62 seconds, Makita 64 seconds. They were super close. Again, we recognize that some users would never use a pre-filter bag, right? The Festool, for example, likely would have performed better if we used the bag, for sure.
Right. After completing the dust box test, each vacuum was immediately retested on the water column jig to measure how much suction was lost as a direct result of a dirty, clogged, or partially restricted filter.
Right.
This step gives us a true picture of how well each vacuum maintains performance under real job site conditions.
Yeah, and because no vacuum runs perfectly with a clean filter for long, right? So it really was a good way to kind of compare this stuff. For comparing the clean filter suction readings to the post-debris testings, we can quantify a couple things. So how much suction drops when the filter is dirty, and how effective is each, vacuum filter's cleaning system, right? This test kind of exposes the models that hold their performance as that filter gets dirty, which I liked.
Yeah, no, and also on the ones that fall off a cliff.
Right.
Really good. And now,
Totally.
Unfortunately, that does happen to a couple of them. We saw that with the Ego in our previous one.
Yeah, we did.
So the Makita showed a minimal 1.05% drop in performance, basically none at all. Close behind was the Hilti at 1.83, also amazing. And the Steels, both 60 and 100, they were neck and neck, both with almost the exact 5% drop, which is not surprising because the vacuum filter and the housing are identical on those two models. It's just the battery and the motors that are a little different.
And that Festool was the largest drop due to relatively clogged filter. The CTC MIDI, it features a manual cleaning lever, and that helps shake off the dust off the filter. This feature was activated once during the dust box testing, and I believe we did also once when we did the water column.
In comparison to the Hilti, which is automatic throughout, which definitely helped it. And up next, our decibel readings, which we collected during the CFM testing. The Makita measured 70 dB, Steel 60, and the Festool both measured 75 dB. And the Steel 100 measured 76 dB, with the Hilti being the loudest at 81.5. And throughout all the categories of our vacuum tested on all of our head-to-heads, Makita was always the quietest.
So quiet.
They clearly prioritized this aspect of the user experience.
It was really nice user experience. We looked at weight also, because weight really does matter. You got to carry this stuff around. Steel 60 was 19.74 pounds. The Steel 100 was 21.32 pounds. Hilti weighed 23.75 pounds.
The ergonomics and features evaluation. A vacuum can have great suction, but if it's awkward to roll across the job site, clumsy to control, or a pain to clean, it won't stay in a contractor's rotation.
No way.
That's why our ergonomics and features testing goes beyond specs and looks at how these vacuums truly work in the field.
Yeah, from wheel tracking to hose quality, filter access, we zeroed in on the everyday details that basically separate a great tool from a frustrating one. You know, some of the key factors, for example, we set up wheel tracking, we looked at control layout, user experience, Bluetooth connectivity, hose, and the quality of the hose, but also the connection. Does it pull out when you pull the hose? Accessories and onboard storage of the accessories, auto filter cleaning, wet-dry capabilities, whether it had a plug or not, drain port, and obviously filter access and location.
And to help evaluate these features, we set up 4 testing stations. We had a wheel tracking station. The station used raised boards, pavement, and loose gravel to assess wheel performance, wheel tracking, and hose to vacuum connection, how well it was able to kind of track across all of that. Vacuum wand testing station, kind of similar to this vacuum tested performance of vacuum wands, accessories, cleaning pre-measured gravel and sawdust that was spread out on both the pavement and the carpet surfaces. We also had a filter evaluation station. Here we evaluated the filters, their location, the ease of changing, and how easy it was to clean them. And then the last was the accessories and feature station. This station focused on evaluating hoses, accessories, handles, and other features. This was a sort of a comprehensive station for everybody.
And obviously the winner of ergonomics and features was Festool. Festool is, there's no surprise, it's a feature-rich, it ran top marks across the board. It has great control interface, well-established Bluetooth, easy to change filter. Its hose quality is in a category of its own. Hilti was second, had good interface, Bluetooth on-off dongle, unique dolly style kind of wheel setup, telescoping handle. It's also the only vacuum in the category with automatic filter feature. Biggest drawback though was it was the clumsiest of all the vacuums to change the filter. Makita was third. It was easy to maneuver, had good control interface. It's a wet-dry model. It does not have AWS, automatic start Bluetooth thing. And the filter gasket bag thing is a little bit finicky. Its floor cleaning accessories were the best tested. And they also have an updated hose accessory, which is fantastic.
It's important to note that the top 3 vacuums are categorized as dust extractors, and the 2 steel vacuums are actually categorized as traditional wet-dry vacuums.
Yep.
And that's going to bring us to the best cordless medium-sized wet-dry vacuum. After putting these models through our full lineup of performance, ergonomic, and filtration tests, one vacuum clearly stood out as the best in the class.
Yep, that was the Makita dust extractor. It tied the more traditional steel wet-dry vacs in performance evaluation. It took top marks in suction tests, both clean and dirty. And it was a solid performer in just about every category we looked at. It's feature-rich. It's got a robust design, which pretty much pushed it right up to the top spot. It scored 35 overall points.
The Hilti and the Festool were neck and neck with 40 and 41 points respectively. The Hilti outperformed the Festool in the performance categories with a first place finish in our dust box evaluation. The Festool struggled in our performance categories, but is a clear runaway in our features and ergonomics evaluation.
Yeah, totally. It's a well-built design, hose quality, user interface, pretty much what makes it so popular in today's woodworking and pro contractor arena today.
And that brings us to our value comparison, price versus performance, with the Steel 60 taking the slot. All manufacturers in this evaluation would be considered high-end brands. Hi, Moose. But the costs of some of these tools vary widely. In this chart, we have normalized the performance of the tools relative to our winner, the Makita, and shown the percentage of points scored. Side by side is the price of the tool as it was evaluated, complete with the battery.
Yeah, so the 3 dust collectors are all over $1,000, right? And scored 80% of the total score. The 2 steel Shop-Vacs are priced much lower at $369 for the 60, $639 for the 100. Both steels scored 79% of the points scored to the Makita, with the SEA 60 costing 26% of the price.
All these vacuums are solid performers, and if they are already on a battery platform you own, they would be a great addition. The average price of the tools in this category is actually $913 versus the average cost in the large capacity we had done, $891.
That's pretty close.
So
right?
if you don't think any of these medium vacs would fit with your kit, check out our large vacuum evaluations, which features 5 additional battery platforms not found in this evaluation.
That's kind of important. It's important to differentiate too that Festool, Hilti, Makita vacuums, they were all wet-dry dust extractors. The 2 steel, strictly wet-dry vacuums. Dust extractors are designed for capturing fine dust at the source, connecting to tools. It's a sealed system, certified HEPA filtration, filter cleaning, high suction power. They're going to clearly offer better dust containment, lung protection, and ensure a safer work environment. Whereas wet-dry vacs, they're equipped with a HEPA filter sometimes, but they're not sealed, and they're designed more for versatile general cleanup tasks, such as picking up a wet mess or dirt on the floor, or maybe doing a little demo or something like that.
Yeah, they're great for quick cleanups, but if you're dealing with hazardous dust like silica or need airtight dust containment, a dedicated dust extractor is a better option. So cordless vacuums aren't just a trend, they're changing the way pros clean up. More power, better runtime, and no cord to fight with means faster, safer, and more efficient job sites. If you want transparent, repeatable, data-driven insights to help pick the perfect cordless vacuum or dust extractor, follow us on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. So folks, in the next several weeks, we're going to come out with part 3 of this vacuum headed series. We have 16 smaller, like I call them little suitcase style capacity vacuums, and a Traxxar head-to-head. So stay tuned. If you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment. I try to answer them all. And more importantly, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. We can use your support. Have a great day. See you later.